Senators, it wasn't a short period ago that I was at this very mic advocating for this very bill. But back then, it wasn't about eliminating bail, it was about bail reform. And at that time, I had shared my concerns of what kind of bail reform I was looking at. You see, I talked to a lot of my constituents. I had a lot of meetings on this. And I wasn't so focused on the financial aspects. And I wasn't so focused on, because I believe that when someone's arrested, they're innocent until proven guilty. I wasn't focused on that. What I was worried about was that poor person that got picked up and they were living from paycheck to paycheck, and the time that they were in jail, they may lose their apartment, and they may have a wife, they may have kids, they may have a spouse, children. And I wanted to be fair to that person because they could be found innocent, and yet they would have lost everything and perhaps become homeless. On the same token, I had a constituent talk to me who was very affluent, and one of his children got caught up on a drug charge and could have been put out on bail, and he could easily afford it, but he chose not to bail his child out. You see, that would have been the first time his child was sober in years, and he knew his child would not choose to change their life and go through rehab unless they had a sobering moment. So I was trying to balance the two of how we could be fair to both. And I was open to looking at all of this, but I don't believe this is the path that does it. When you're working off a formula, it doesn't take in those considerations, those human considerations that are so important for us to change the lives of those in trouble or headed in the wrong direction. And then later I noticed I wasn't the only one, because I was a co-author in the bill, I wasn't the only one that peeled off of this bill along the path. And then the final straw of why I couldn't support this is so many organizations, many I respect very much, said the bill was unconstitutional. And I'm just going to read a few of them to you. The ACLU, the African American Ministers in Action, the Asian Pacific American Labor Alliance, the Ella Baker Center for Human Rights, the Immigrant Family Defense Fund, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, Move On, the NAACP, the National Center for Lesbian Rights, the Public Defenders Association, Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights, the Greenlighting Institute. And there's over 100 more organizations that came out and opposed this. There's no reason why we have to rush this through today. There's no reason why we can't go back and get these people from opposed to support. And there's no reason that we, as smart people, can't work out reforms that make sense both for that poor person who will lose everything, who's done nothing wrong except for being accused, and that rich person whose only moment of sobriety may be because his parents chose not to bail him out. Senators, I know that the author and every member here cares deeply about these issues. I just ask that you give it reflection, deeper reflection, because I think that we have time to solve all of it. And I know how hard the authors worked, but I just can't support a bill that so many constitutional groups have come out to oppose. I urge a no vote.